which that's an indicator of what this scripture right here is talking about. Most of these countries, they send ships over here, cargo ships, planes, whatever. Primarily ships, though. You know, these different ports, Jacksport, Bayport. What's the other port? Port of Miami. Got the New York Harbor. Got a Port of Georgia. Port of Long Beach. And so on and so on. The Gulf Coast port. All these different ports where all these goods get shipped. Man, when this judgment take place, ain't no more shipping no Lamborghinis and no fucking Ferraris and shit over here. Ain't none of that. Ain't no shipping no silk, and all them different garments. Ain't no more Balenciaga, none of that shit getting shipped over here. Ain't no what else? No more Givenchy and Gucci and all that shit. No Louis. That stuff not getting shipped over here no more. Cause this place gonna be through, man. So in verse 20 it says, "Rejoice over her, thou heaven, and ye holy apostles and prophets, for Yahweh have avenged you on her." Cause that's what we look forward to. Cause ain't no way in hell, even how people have arms and different stuff like that. You have people that's militant minded, but ain't none of that shit gonna go up against Esau. You'll be a fool to try to do that. This devil so advanced with their technology because that's their blessing, the sword. When you look in the book of Genesis, it says their blessing should be the sword and the fatness of the lamb. So they got so advanced with the weaponry. These devils got lasers and shit. Nukes on top of that. Sonic weapons. You go outside, they fuck around and put a sonic weapon on your ass. You through. If they want to do that. Drones, the list goes on. Niggas ain't got that. What he saying, New Jack City? Niggas ain't got no boats. Hey, niggas ain't got no lasers. Can't go up against Esau. So, you gotta be patient. That's why the scripture said here's the patience and the faith of the saints. Because we know. It's just like when you wake up in the morning, you know the sun gonna shine. We know that the Most High gonna make do on his word. He done did it plenty of times throughout history. And the people that make them little jokes like, stop depending on your sky daddy, they gonna eat them words when that time comes. Now let me see. In verse 21 it says, "And a mighty angel took up a stone like a great millstone and cast it into the sea, saying, Thus with violence shall that great city Babylon be thrown down, and shall be found no more at all." So this place really gonna be through, man. Ain't no end in the world. See, Esau got it in their mind. That's why they make these videos like this right here. Let me go back to it. That's why they make stuff like this, because they figure like, okay, we can't rule, we can't control the market, the food market, the banking, financial market. Can't nobody control it. But that ain't so, man. The Most High gonna set us up so we can rule next. Let me get one more precept real quick. Let's see. Now, I wasn't going to get this one, but let me go into C. Hey, here you go. Now it says, 2 Ezra chapter 4, which is in the Apocrypha, if you don't have it. But you can still look it up, or you can get an app. Now it says, in verse 25, "What will he then do unto his name, whereby we are called? Of these things have I asked." And then answered he me and said, "The more thou searchest, the more thou shalt marvel, for the world has fast to pass away." Now it says in verse 27, "I cannot comprehend the things that are promised to the righteous in time to come, for the world is full of unrighteousness and infirmities." And a lot of people, they got infirmities. That's why I mentioned in that previous video about spiritual power. A lot of people want to have spiritual power to go do dumb shit. They ain't trying to have spiritual power to actually heal people, heal the sick. Because that's one of the main things that's going to glorify the name of Yahweh B'Ashem Yahushua. then people will know it ain't no joke for sure. It ain't no game. Then Esau gonna make their move too when that type of event happen, because they don't want nobody healing people. Like, you try to be a physician and teach people about herbs and different medicinal stuff, natural medicinal stuff, they'll flag your videos and take your stuff down. But if you put up some folly, they'll keep that up now. Let me see, let me get the other preset. I'm gonna end this off. Now it says, back in 2nd Ezra. Second Ezra chapter 6 and verse 9. Okay, better yet, you know what? Let me see. Let me start at verse. We'll start at verse 6, just to get the full spectrum of this. Now it says, then did I consider these things, and they were all made through me alone, and through none other. By me also they shall be ended, and by none other. So that's another thing too you gotta keep in mind. We ain't no way in hell we gonna just try to go up against Esau. We gotta wait for Yahweh try to do what he do. And he been doing it. If you pay attention to the news, he been stirring these kings up, or these leaders that go against each other. 1 minute they having peace talks, next minute they bombing each other. So the Most High been doing that. Let me see something. I'm trying to turn that heat on real quick. Which verse 7 it said, then answered I and said, what shall be the part of the son of times, or what shall be the end of the first and the beginning of it that followeth? In verse 8 it says, and he said unto me, from Abraham unto Isaac, when Jacob and Esau were born of him. Because you got this rhetoric going around, that anti-rhetoric. We come from the same fucking lineage. It's just they try to play these games, and a lot of people don't read and look at how the lineage was separated. Because we still come from Abraham and Isaac, but out of Abraham and Isaac was Jacob and Esau. They descend from the house of Esau. We come from the house of Yaquah. But they try to play these games and say that they come from Yaquah. But when you look at the characteristics of Esau, you go down to, which I ain't gonna go into that. That's a whole nother lesson. I actually got some previous videos like that. You go into the whole lineage of Amalek and Esau, so to speak, and T-Men, and all these other names that they have for their lineage. They fit specific people. Just like when you go into the different characteristics of the descendants of Yaquah, Judah, Benjamin, Levi, Naphtali, Gad, Issachar, Reuben, Simeon, Zebulun, all those different tribes, they fit certain people. But our people like to be ignorant instead of being wise, or they'll be filled with worldly wisdom instead of spiritual wisdom, so to speak, and won't actually look into this and be like, damn, this is what this talking about. But in verse 8, read again, it says, and he sent it to me from Abraham unto Isaac. When Isaac and Esau were born of him, Isaac's hand held first the heel of Esau, which this goes back into the book of Genesis, which eliminates that rhetoric that people like to say the Apocrypha is not accurate and it don't go with the other scriptures. This is the same exact thing just mentioned in the book of Genesis, when Esau and Isaac, when Esau and Jacob were in the womb, they was fighting, and when they was born, Esau came out first, red like a hairy garment, and there was a reason why he was described like that, and they ain't had to describe Jacob because he came out normal looking. It was normal looking, having melanin, being brown. Lack of melanin, everything on this earth got melanin. I was watching a video, it was funny, it was Nat Geo video. Even spiders got melanin. Esau ain't got no melanin. that don't sound too good right there. Like the Latinos say, that's no bueno. But in verse 9 it says, for Esau is the end of the world, and Jacob is the beginning of it that follows. So ain't no world the world gonna blow up or the moon gonna hit the earth and none of that shit. Everybody just gonna launch nukes and everybody just gonna wipe each other out. No, it's not going down like that. But somebody got to rule. Somebody got to get took out of power. And just so happens, it's so time to get took out of power. And they know that shit. So they doing everything they can to try to hold on to it and still lie to people about who is who and what is what. But the whole time, the truth gonna prevail, as it is written. So I just want to bring this out. I don't want to run this out. It's edifying. Call all you have about Shem Shah. Shalom to the left.